For months, this is what Susan Evoy has done before she leaves her home. She checks to see if the coast is clear.
There's been a lot of violence in the house next door. There's been threats to us. Our property has been damaged. Our property has been stolen. The house itself is not in good condition.
Evoy lives in a home attached to a rental property. Since 2020, it's been used to house people with barriers to traditional housing, a system separate from private shelters. That alone, Evoy says, is not the problem.
You need appropriate housing. It's not enough just to put somebody in a house, because now what will happen? What will happen, the person next to me obviously has complex needs, has some mental health issues, and they do deserve to be housed. But for example, this person, the front door didn't work for almost a month.
Evoy estimates she's called the police over 100 times.
If he's having an episode outside, I can't leave the house. If he's wielding an axe inches away from my front door, I can't leave my home.
But the threats are never direct enough. Damage to property unproven, she says, so it all continues.
So if the homeowner is not responsible, and the property manager is not responsible, and CSSD is not responsible, and the Department of Justice is not responsible, and the City of St. John's is limited in what they can do, and the RNC is limited in what they can do, and the tenant is not responsible for their own actions, then who is responsible?
Homes like the one next to Evoy can receive 3 streams of money from income support, Newfoundland and Labrador housing, and NL Health Services mental health and addiction subsidy, which provides the largest chunk of funding. The money goes to private landlords and property managers. When it comes to this house, the property manager, Steve Saunders, was paid $21,000 in the first 9 months of last year, so over $2,300 a month. And that's just for one stream in a trifecta of funding. In that same time frame, the health authority paid Saunders over $350,000 for that home and 29 others, with one renter per address.
The government is hemorrhaging money to house these people without proper supports, without wraparound supports, and I'm trapped in the middle.
At the NDP office, complaints like those are common.
They're going to pay $3,000 a month, and that's just one example. I know several like that. What are you doing to make sure that A, they stay housed? I think if there's a profit motive there, the motive is to maximize the profit.
Landlord and property manager Steve Saunders wouldn't do an interview with CBC News, but he did provide answers to our questions by email. He says he's proud of the work that he's been doing and says more people should rent to individuals with mental health and addictions issues. He takes exception to any comment that his properties aren't up to snuff and says they're checked on 4 times a week minimum and that he has a maintenance crew that does repairs as soon as possible. Saunders says government departments and organizations are doing a good job with what they have.
We are truly a funding source. So our subsidy.
Leslie Brown is the head of community mental health and addictions for NL Health Services in Eastern Newfoundland.
The subsidy program really is the last option. We will make sure that, other communal living opportunities were explored. And if none of those are successful, and the person wants to live in a particular rental situation, then that's where our subsidy kicks in.
A subsidy without real oversight of who is renting the properties out or what condition they're in, aside from case managers who deal with tenants on a number of issues.
Our housing program is certainly not perfect, and there's a lot of work that we need to do to make sure that this significant amount of money that we're spending is being spent in the best possible way.
Brown says a working group has been formed to look into the issue. Ariana, Kelland, CBC News, St. John's.